Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am here with a Scrappy quilt block. It's going to look very scrappy and it's very easy and it uses just 2-inch squares. I'm so excited, so excited. I've been playing with this a little bit today and I thought, hey, I think this is kind of cute. So I thought I would show you. Before I forget, I have packs of 200 2-inch squares in my eBay store. They're leftovers from my exclusive sales. You get 50 different prints, 4 squares of each print. So go check it out. The link is always in the description box of my video. Or if you want to just look for me on eBay, my eBay name is Darlene Michaud, because that's my name. But it's not always easy to find someone in a search, but the link is in the description box. Or go to darlenemichaud.com and you will see some links in one of the sidebars. It'll take you to my eBay store. 8 squares is going to make one little block, about 4 inches, maybe a little bit smaller. And I'm using 8 different prints. You don't have to. It'll just have a different look. And I've just done this once, so I don't know like how to set it up if you want to make a certain pattern or whatever, but we can play with it and maybe revisit it again. So I'm just going to make 2 patches first. And no, I didn't take any of these from my king-size quilt. I cut new squares for that. And I'm just going to look. I have dot, dot, and then, kind of plain. And so I'm not going to put the dotted ones together just because. Why? I don't have to. All right, so I'm going to do the red and black. Just going to have fun with this. 1/4 inch seam allowance, if you can. And I'm just going to send them all through. So I'm going to do these 2. And now those first 2 are going to be 1 block, and these are going to be the 2nd block. And what do I want to do here? I like purple and green together. Again, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to take my first 2. I'm going to open those. I'm just going to finger press. And I'm going to decide how I want those 2 to be. Ooh, I like the dots on the diagonal, so we'll do that. So let me press that this way. And I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to make my first 4 patch. Now I'll take the other 2, and I'll make a 4 patch out of these also. Now I'm going to open these and press them. This is what I have. Now one of these is going to be the center of the block and the other one is going to be the outside of the block. I know that sounds confusing. I don't know, I like the looks of this one, so I'm going to use that as the center. I'm going to take the other one and you can decide which way you want to do it. I don't know really if it matters how it turns out, but I think I'll put these 2 dotteds not on the dots. I don't know, maybe that will make a difference. So I'm just putting these like this. Put them any way you want. Now I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. All the way around. And when you get to the corner, if you want to just go off, you can. If you want to stop and turn, you can. I stop and turn. Some don't like that because they don't feel like they get right to the right point, but that's okay. Now see, I could go 1 more stitch, so I'm going to go 1 more stitch. Now I'm going to turn. Okay, this top one is the one that I thought I'd like to have it be the outer. It doesn't matter. If you don't remember, just take one side, pick a side, any side. We're going to draw a line on the diagonal in both directions, but we are not sewing anywhere again. We are going to be cutting on that line, but only that line. We can't cut through both layers. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Well, I can't. I'm on a thing here, so let me just draw my diagonal lines on my table. Okay, this is what I have, and if that shows after we cut it and open it up, if the line shows, it's going to get caught in whatever seam allowance is next, whether you're putting a border or you're putting another piece next to it or whatever. So don't be too concerned about that. Now we have to cut on these two lines and only these two lines. So we have to separate this and make sure we don't cut the other piece on the bottom. And what you can do is, if you want, you can take a seam ripper and just stick it on that line and make sure you didn't go through the other side. And just for a little bit, you can make a little hole big enough to stick your scissors in there. And now I'm just going to cut this way, all the way to the corner, and this way, all the way to the corner. I don't even know what I was showing you. And when you draw your line, draw it from like that corner that you created to that corner, because it might shift. You don't have to go corner to corner of the fabric. It might shift. Go corner to corner of the, you know, the box you created with thread. And we're going to go this way and this way. I'm going to be doing more stuff with 2-inch squares now that I'm making them again and selling them again. We're going to open this up, and it's not going to look awesome at the beginning because we've got a lot of little things, but we're going to be trimming. You know, trimming is the secret. So we're going to open this like this. I've done this type of block before, but I've never done it with like 4 patches. I don't want you to see it until I press and trim. It's going to look so much better. Let me press this open, and I'll show it to you before I trim because I want to show you guys what you're going to be trimming off. So open, press. Look, I mean, it's looking pretty damn cute, but we have to trim it now. And I'm going to tell you how to do it so that it comes out evenly. You're going to see this, where this brown piece, you know, again, don't follow the corners of what's sticking out. Here, actually, if you want to trim the little dog ears or whatever, I don't know if those are dog ears or a different kind of ear. I'm going to trim that. So I'm just going to trim that right here, even, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. So if I want to trim this, I'm going to try to get a 4-inch square out of this, but I might want to trim a little bit smaller. You will lose your points, and that's okay. It's all cool. Put this and this on a line, and you'll know you're at the center. And let's say this is 4.5. It's not. Don't think you did it wrong if it's not 4.5. It's not going to be 4.5. But let's say if it was, and you want to trim it to 4, you got to get rid of 1/2 of an inch. So you would trim 1/4 of an inch on each side, and then you would do the same. You would turn it this way, and you'd line up these points to a line on your mat, and you would trim evenly on each side. So if that also measures 4.5, you would take 1/4 of an inch. You know, so if it happens to be shorter that way and you want to trim to 4 inches, well, just figure out how much you have to trim on each side to evenly take off and get it down to 4 inches. So I'm going to go do that, and I will show you. Look, you know, they want to pop up a little bit just because of the way we did this. But look how scrappy that looks. Now it ends up that the one that you cut will put the same color on one side. You know, these two are the same, these are the same, these are the same. But it still looks very scrappy, and it looks like it was difficult. It looks like you had to put these little triangles in there, but you didn't. You saw what we did, right? Because you were watching with your eyeballs. So here's the practice one that I made, and I used basically the same fabrics. Look, look, get out. But now this one, you'll notice, I don't know what I did differently, but I lost my little tips there. Those two are not quite touching. I don't know if that was done in the trimming or what I did. But again, these are scrappy blocks. And anything here that you think is a mess, when you put the 2 blocks together and you sew 1/4 of an inch, you know, you'd be sewing like down here, 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to capture all that stuff. So start saving your scraps. You can get a 2-inch square out of pretty much any scrap. I mean, unless it's a really tiny scrap. But before you throw something away, say, can I get a 2-inch square out of this? And cut it and start a little box of just 2-inch squares. And I have showed you in the past how to quickly cut 2-inch squares. Maybe I can do that again. I don't know where that video would be. I really like this. You know, you could sash them, or you could just join. Oh, 'cause look. Yeah, I mean, if you join, I don't want to join them in case I want to do something. But it would make, you know, like little diamonds like that. I hope you like. I think you do. I do love. All right, you guys, that's it. Go check out the squares that I have on eBay and subscribe, okay? Because we're going to be doing more things. I'm going to call it Fun with 2-inch Squares. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.